Dallas, we got to talk. Oh, it's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I got to talk about Dallas Cowboys because look, this is not fun. This is not funny. It is neither one of those two things. It is quite honestly just becoming too much. Look, I got on my gym attire. I was trying to go get a little lift in and kind of sort of keep my eyes on the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns because, yes, Dallas Cowboys are playing. CeeDee Lamb is playing on the Dallas Cowboys. Baker Mayfield and them coming to town. And I got, I got something in this, both from the college side and from the NFL side. If I told you that Dak Prescott was going to complete 41 of 58 for 502 yards with 4 TDs and just 1 pick, you probably say, pretty good, pretty decent. If I told you that Amari Cooper was going to have 12 catches for 134, it's pretty good, pretty decent. Zeke didn't do what we wanted him to do, only 12 for 54, 4.5 yards per touch. You'll take it, right? And they put up 38 points. 38 points. Be like, I think they won. Oh, it gets better. It gets better than that. If I told you that Baker Mayfield only passed for 165 yards and did not have Nick Chubb for most of the game, you'd be like, sounds like easy money to me. And then you find out that this dude, Ernest Johnson, a dude I have never heard of in my life, goes for 13 for 95, on top of Kareem Hunt going 11 for 71. You got Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry styling out there. Odell Beckham Jr. eating Trayvon Diggs' lunch in some real LSU versus Alabama. There's the SEC West out there on the numbers. And they put up 49 points? 49? Yo, man, Eric Bieniemy, bring him in. Why did we hire this dude? Jerry, what are you doing? I thought that we was done with this. I went into this season expecting a Super Bowl. Some of y'all gonna find a way to blame Dak Prescott for losing this football game. You gonna convince Jerry that Dak Prescott is not the way to go after paying him this franchise tag. Somebody else is gonna sign him for a ton of money to be their NFL starting quarterback, and we're going to be back to square one, looking around like, okay, is Justin Fields still there? No, because this Cowboys team is going to finish just enough and just good enough in the money to miss the real money at the top. There are only 2 quarterbacks in this NFL draft you really want to take. 3, depending on how you feel about Trey Lance. I think he's good. But the way y'all treat Dak Prescott, I don't want Trey Lance coming here. No, don't want it. I think Trey Lance deserves to go somewhere where he will be appreciated. I think that Trey Lance is very much that dude that Indianapolis is going to be looking at real hard. The Jets, God bless the Jets, they're going to be looking at him real hard. Okay? We got a number of other squads that's just going to be looking real hard for Trey Lance, or Trevor Lawrence, or Justin Fields. Okay? He ain't going to be there for Dallas. So what you going to go get? Nick Foles? Nah, man, that's what's going to happen. Nick Foles going to walk through this door at Dallas, come back home after going to Westlake and whatnot. We're going to end up with his aging old body, and Dak Prescott going to go to Chicago and turn them into a Super Bowl team. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm tired of this because I'm at the gym just trying to get my lift on, and I got dudes who know me from here talking about, RJ, what the hell happened to Oklahoma? What's going on, man? I don't want to talk about it. Yo, man, how y'all going to get beat by Iowa State? First time in 60 years? I said, I don't want to talk about it. Yo, man, ain't them your Dallas Cowboys? I said, what? What? Dallas, what are you doing? All right. I can't, man. Like, we do it to ourselves as Dallas Cowboys fans, right? We going on 25 years since the last time we won a Super Bowl. Watch Philadelphia Eagles win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. That ain't supposed to be it is. This is the first time since 1968 that the Cleveland Browns have scored 30 points or more in 3 consecutive games over Dallas, and all this money that was supposed to be paid up front to DeMarcus Lawrence, who got you next to nothing. You know, we're looking at 2 sacks of Baker Mayfield. 2. You pay all this money to, well, GT is hurt, right? You bring in Everson Griffin, Jalen Smith, not Jalen Robinson, and Leighton Vander Esch can't do this thing because Leighton Vander Esch is becoming Sean Lee light. I wanted you to go and get a safety, you drafted CeeDee Lamb. I wanted you to go get a corner, you drafted CeeDee Lamb. I thought that the draft was actually good. I thought Bradley Anae would have been great. Stole him. Nothing. I gotta know, man, who's doing what here? Because this ain't what I'm here for. I can't stand this. Dallas, help me. Lord. All I have to look forward to now is LeBron James going up 3-0 over a Miami team that is hurt and wasn't going to be that good to begin with. Like, I like Miami as a story, but you would have needed Bam Adebayo to actually be the best player in this series to win that, and that's just not going to be what it is. To say nothing of Goran Dragic, he's gone. I don't know if y'all know what it is to tear the plantar fasciitis in your foot, but you ain't doing a whole hell of a lot of running once you do that. Don't tell me about Kendrick Nunn because he's not even as good as Rondo, and Rondo is aging. We got Tyler Hero, who is getting buckets, who has turned into a pumpkin. We've got nobody else to actually check LeBron, and all this rim protection and these trees that Miami has to get through, and Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, and LeBron, it seems impossible. So I'm looking forward to LeBron winning because I'm a LeBron truther. I love me some LeBron. I think LeBron is one of the greatest of all time, like many of you, and I think that if he gets to 6 rings, he will be the greatest of all time. So the closer he gets to those rings, the better off for all of us. His 3rd ring with a 3rd franchise, here for it. Before I let you go, I did want to speak a little bit about Bob Gibson, because Bob Gibson passed away on Friday night, cancer at hospice care in Omaha. And that was my great-granddaddy's favorite ball player. And Bob Gibson was one of those fellas that I was really unfortunate to never see pitch. But I accumulated all this knowledge of him. And I got to understand what my great-granddaddy loved most about him. He used to say, Bob Gibson is what a black man should be. Told that to my grandmommy. My grandmommy passed away a couple years ago. And this is as close as I could get to getting to the person that my grandmommy called daddy and my mama called daddy. So I would ask questions and I would learn stories about him and learn more about Bob Gibson to better know him. To know Bob Gibson, though, is to know that he's born in 1935 in Omaha, Nebraska. That is just 16 years after the 1919 Omaha race riot. To know Bob Gibson is to know he never met his daddy. His father died before he was born. He was raised by his mama and his older brother, Josh, who saw a ball player in him. Taught him how to be tough, because he had to be, growing up in Omaha. He was so good as a high school basketball player that he thought he could get a scholarship to Indiana. To know Bob Gibson is to know Indiana wrote back to him and said, sorry, Mr. Gibson, we have filled our quota for Negroes this year. That's a quote. To know Bob Gibson is to know that he ended up going to Creighton for undergrad, averaged 20 points a game for 3 seasons while playing outfield for the Blue Jays, and pitched and won 6 games, lost 2 his senior year. He was so good as a basketball player that after he finished the season AAA Omaha, the Harlem Globetrotters asked him to join up, and he did. He was a Globetrotter the same year he was a professional baseball player in 1957. He only played for about 4 months, played about 120 games in those 4 months, and decided that it wasn't for him when they played a basketball game that morning, got on a bus, drove 300 miles and played a basketball game that night, and he did that too long for him. Just long enough for him to figure out he doesn't actually want to be a professional basketball player. And he became one of the greatest pitchers of all time and the most intimidating pitcher of all time. The man had more complete games than wins, 255 to 251. To know Bob Gibson is to know snarl, is to know nasty, is to know the story that Goose Gossage used to tell, which is Bob Gibson told me, one half of that plate is mine. Now you got to figure out which half. Maury Wills had a great one. Maury Wills said, most pitchers would think twice before they throw at you. Bob, he didn't pay that no mind. He meet you halfway. as in halfway from the mound because he's ready to fight you. There's a story about a rookie in San Francisco who got in, was told not to dig in against Bob Gibson. See where my head is. He dug in. Willie Mays comes out and says, "No!" And Bob Gibson yells out to this rookie, "Dig it deeper because I might have to bury you in it." Mike Schmidt told a story, said, "I got a hit off of Bob. Hit a cue shot right up the middle. Next time come around, he beamed me right in my arm." He still got the mark. Last pitch that Bob Gibson threw, he threw at age 40, 1975. He gave up a grand slam to Pete Lecoq. 10 years later, Bob Gibson is pitching in an old-timers game at Wrigley Field. Pete Lecoq came to the plate, and Bob Gibson hit him. Bob Costas told this story, and Bob Costas said he asked Bob Gibson, "Why'd you hit him? It's an old-timers game. I mean, come on, can't you let bygones be bygones?" Bob Gibson told him, and I'm quoting here, "Robert, no matter how long it takes, the scales must be balanced." You hit Bob Gibson, he was going to hit you back. Had a slider that was from another dimension. Would come at your ribs, you swear you were going to get hit by it, and it would break back over the plate. Could throw 95 at your head and wouldn't think twice about it. Nobody could talk to him and tell him what was what. But my favorite story about Bob Gibson is about him squinting in, looking at the sign. So much so that he'd be squinting, and then the batter would come around to him the next day and be like, "Hey, man, what the hell did I do? I didn't say nothing to you. I didn't do nothing to you. I don't know you." So they're playing a game, day game, in San Francisco. Willie Mays and Bill White, one of 3 black players for St. Louis Cardinals that forced them to integrate, became the first Major League Baseball team to integrate their housing situation. Anyway, Willie invites Bill White to dinner. And Bill said, "Can I bring Bob?" And Willie said, "Sure." So Bob Gibson shows up with these glasses on. And Willie said, "You wear glasses? You're going to kill somebody." Because he didn't wear glasses on the mound. So he out there squinting because he can't see. Even so, set a major league record in the World Series for strikeouts with 17. And the number that every baseball fan knows about Bob Gibson is 1.12, which was his ERA in 1968. Over 300 innings. That man allowed 1 earned run and change. Nobody's going to get close to that. If they get close to 1.12, it ain't going to be them throwing 300 innings. That's just not what it's going to be. We don't do that anymore. He was so good that they lowered the mound from 15 inches to 10 inches. Now, Denny McClain and some others were actually just destroying people. Sandy Koufax destroying people. But they changed it when Bob was killing people. And this is at a time when St. Louis couldn't score runs. And Bob never thought that was funny. He was always pissed because he'd leave the game 0-0. Couldn't get the wins. So much so that his roommate, Kurt Flood, once they scored a run, would go up to Bob Gibson and say, "All right, we got one. Hold him, roomie." Kurt thought that was funny. Bob didn't think that was funny at all. Rest in power, King. Deuces.